Midsummer, it's easy to feel like a failure in the garden. It is easy to feel like all the hard work that you put in is for naught. And if you're feeling that way, jeez, you are definitely not alone. You might find sites like this where you are, or maybe it's just my persecution. I don't know. This is an okra stalk. This is something like what it's supposed to look like. They ate on this one a little bit, but the grasshoppers have like totally decimated a good bit of our okra that's in the high tunnel. After all of that effort getting it planted early, this is where we're at. This is where we're at. Our second planting of okra, they seem to not be as interested in. Oh, look, and there's one right there, right now. I've been trying to catch them and like pull a leg or something off so that they can not get away from the chickens when I throw them to the chickens. But the chickens don't really seem to care for them too much. They just kind of play with them, which, yeah, it is what it is. So, yeah, and the tomatoes have needed pruning for a minute. And I've not been able to get in here and do it, so that's why they look a mess. Also, the heat has been ridiculous. Thankful for getting the shade cloth up on this side, which has decreased the temperature in here overall, honestly. Pretty good. But it could be better, of course, if we had some shade cloth on the complete hot tunnel, like over the whole thing. But the finances right now just don't sustain that, so we're just working with what we have. I have to get in here and I have to get things straightened up because things are growing. The tomatoes are still productive. The this is the most gigantic zucchini I have ever had, in the hot tunnel anyway, and it's doing great. So things are growing, so it's not like, you know, I can freak out completely, but it's just the clutter of the weeds and the clutter of just things that are not where they're supposed to be. Like this is not supposed to be here. This is supposed to be given to the animals after it was pulled. Instead, it is turned to hay in the hot tunnel. So stay tuned as we work, and this will probably be a video that is going to be shot over a period of at least a week, because there is no way that there's going to be just myself in here and being able to get the hot tunnel back to looking like a professional grower's high tunnel should look. Lord in heaven, what a mess. Honestly, it's at this point where I really get like analysis paralysis, like where do I need to start, what do I need to do? And then once I figure out what I need to do, a lot of times the heat has already crept up on me. As like today. So I've tried. That hoe just tried to take out a whole eggplant. I realized how bad that sounded, so just for clarification, it was a literal hoe, the tool that you use for gardening. I've tried to determine what I'm going to do before I come out, and then there's always the unexpected issue. So what I decided to focus on today is weeding and fertilizing the row where our corn is at, because I don't want to have that same issue we had last time. And so that's where I'm starting at. Okay, so we've gotten most of the eggplant and bean and corn row done, and I kind of worked a little bit on this tomato row too. Stopped like in this section here, but back there towards the back I did a little bit more. And I've kind of fertilized just with some fish emulsion as I've gone. And I see, I'm looking at these leaves. Look at this. Look at this. Looking at the leaves, they look like they could use some foliar spray. So I'm probably just going to mix up some Epsom salt and put on these as well. But it's a slow go. And Brian also started working on this, the top, let's see, the first 2 or 3 segments of this trellis were good because I had weeded them to plant those cucumbers, but I've been succession planting the cucumbers, and now given where we are in the season, I need to just go ahead and finish out that row. And so I need to finish thoroughly weeding that. He got the top off for me, and so I'll go back over that. That'll be another time. I'm staggering, but let me show you my reward. Let me bring it back down here. You can see where the grasshoppers have been eating on the corn. Isn't that crazy? Wow. Sit it down right there, please. Thank you. My reward for being such a good girl and working so hard. Boom. Yeah, buddy. Lord, I like to thought that was a spider on my shoulder. Woo. Y'all like to see me stripping out here. Oh, Lord Jesus, wow. Grass coming through the weed barrier. I'm just sweeping this one off, and I thought most of the grass, I figured most of the grass was just like laying on top, but it was starting to literally poke holes and come through. Look at that. Crazy. Look at that back there. Punched itself all the way through. Just let this be a lesson to you that a weed barrier is not a replacement for a good weeding and cleaning routine of your garden area. It is not a fix-all to your problems. You still have to couple your weed barrier with proper cleaning and maintenance of your garden space. Alright, so I don't know how many days it's been since we started this clean out, but then we had several consecutive days of just storms, and I'm not just talking about rain because it's perfect to come out here in the rain, but it was literally like wind and lightning and thundering. In a minute I'll go out and show you how laid over our red splendor hibiscus plants are from how strong the wind was. But so it's been about 3 days since I've been able to come in here and work, and a period 3 days, and then I had one of those days was because of storm exclusively, and 2 of those days because of storm and body pain from storm. And so when I came in here today, I was a little sad because I realized that something tragic has happened. You can see a lot of brown. Brian is over there picking tomatoes. A lot of brown there. My tomatoes were doing so well despite the heat, especially after we put the shade cloth on. But that side over there has no shade cloth, so that side of the high tunnel is hotter. The reason why it's looking dead is the water has been off in here for 3 days. And that's not the only thing we lost. We also lost the few cucumbers that actually came up on their own, that were direct sown. We had about, I don't know, 5 here. 4 looks like. And for some reason, that one it survived. And you can see we have some eggplants over there that are looking kind of puny. We did have an issue with our water for about 2 days. We got that taken care of, and I came out here and I thought everything was good, but I forgot to look at the switch that was connected to the timer. And when the water was switched back on, we were instructed to turn everything off. And I had some really good helpers that did that. But I was not able to remember every single switch. And you would think that would be a main one. But some kind of way, it fell through the cracks. But you can see the tomatoes on this side are very green, very luscious looking. And that's primarily because they've got that shade cloth. They are newer plants as well. This is our second succession planting. So they are younger plants. But yeah, that hurt my feelings so bad when I came out here and realized what had happened. But I mean, what you gonna do? So because of that though, this area here not getting water, that grass back there was a bit more fragile, and so we were able to get it up a little bit easier. If you ever dealt with that type of grass that just vines, the roots just kind of spread out like wildfire under the ground, it's really hard to control if it ever catches root. And what I really think I'm going to end up doing, ultimately what I want to do, is I want to convert that entire backside, because that's where that grass is the worst. From the time that we built this, we knew we were going to have a struggle with that back section. I want to probably do that back 10 feet or so, completely covered with landscape fabric, and install 2 or 3 long, maybe 3 raised beds through that section, and just, you know, put rocks down or something like that, because it's really too much. It's too much to deal with. And it stops right here at that post. All the way back is where it's the worst. So that's the back side of our high tunnel, side facing the road. And I think ultimately that's the big fix. So that means that those the rows that I use for my tomatoes and cucumbers and anything vining, that and that is going to have like a whole segment missing, like a 6 to 8 foot section. But given how much harder I have to work through that section to keep the weeds out, I don't even care at this point. Then the idea, you know, we'll have to put on some type of split off on these hoses in order to make sure that those beds are irrigated, because there's no way that I'm going to be coming in here every day just to do that. This high tunnel has to be, it's got to be more sufficient. It's got to be more self-sufficient. So I think it's one of the ways we're going to be able to make that happen. So we'll see. We shall see. Anyway, I'm about to plant cowpeas. My goal was, let me back you back out. From where the fan is hanging there, 1, 2 posts, 3 posts. Between these 3 posts, I was going to do all cucumbers, and on the back side back here, something more vigorous and heat tolerant, which would have been the cowpeas. Now, given this new situation, I'm just going to interplant the cowpeas with the cucumbers all the way down, but I will stop the cucumbers right there. So if I have enough, the cowpeas will be planted all the way down this row, and the cucumbers will just go to the first 3 posts. Yeah, first 3 posts. So we're going to get started with that. Also, I have some blood meal. I did fertilize the corn the other day with some fish emulsion, but that's only like a 5 or a 4 as far as the nitrogen is concerned. We need more. So I didn't have blood meal on hand at the time, but I was able to pick some up yesterday, and so we're gonna put that down, and then we're just gonna water everything really good. And it's shady in here, but you see this? Still, like, I'm still evaporating. So we did decide to go ahead and pull those tomatoes. It's really sad, because the hump that they had made it over, they really would have made it through the fall. But it seems like it's always something. The good thing is I've already succession planted some tomatoes for in here. So it's not as many, and they're determinate as well. So that'll be our last opportunity for tomatoes for the year. Then it'll be all about the greens. All about the greens. So with both of those trellises clear, and knowing that I'm only doing a few tomatoes for fall, it does give me an opportunity to think about planting some vining beans over there as well. I'm thinking about the Kentucky Wonder pole bean. They've done good in here in the past. Especially after those tomatoes have really worked that soil pretty good over the last, let's see, we planted those, I believe, in the February, 1st of March. So March, April, May, June, July, August, 6 months. And they grew very vigorously. I'm really proud of them. They did really, really well. So, yeah, I think I'm going to do Kentucky Wonder pole beans there. And the cowpeas here. Yeah. Let me get the cowpeas so I can show you which ones we're planting. Alright, so this is the cowpea that we're going to be planting today. It's called the Ozark Razorback. It's pretty, doesn't it? So this particular bean can be used as a snap bean if harvested very young. It can be used as a shelled bean. Also, you can allow it to dry on the vine to use as a dry bean. I did not soak these overnight, but I am going to give them a really good soak when I plant them. So my germination may be a little bit effective. I did some research because it said that it was a bush bean on here, and all of the reviews on Baker Creek was like, yeah, that's not a bush bean, that is a pole bean. So that's why I'm planting it here. And it's not the first time that's happened to me too. I've planted some that were described as a bush bean, and then it was like, oh Lord, where's the ground? Because they actually were more of a vining habit than they were a bush. Oh boy, you okay? Okay. Yeah, it's a lot of pollen on those tomatoes. Brian's almost finished pulling the tomatoes completely. Are you celebrating? Yeah. Oh, you getting it done though. Good job. Alright, so he's over there working hard. I better get caught up. So I'm gonna get on my hands and knees, because y'all know my back is terrible. And Brian probably gonna have to help me up. You wouldn't leave me on the ground, would you? No. Okay. Alright, so yeah, you'd help me up. And I'm gonna I think I'm gonna do the cucumbers on the front part of the row and the beans on the back. Brian, you got your own soundtrack and everything. You got it. Go, Brian, go. Pretty. So pretty. So why you call them cowpeas? It's recommended to plant cowpeas about 1 to 2 inches in depth, but I generally err on the side of about 1 inch. You can also plant them about 4 inches apart, but with my intense planting, I don't follow that at all, but this is what's recommended. According to my research, I should be able to harvest green pods in about 65 to 70 days, and if I want these to get to the point of maturity for shelling, I'm looking at around 90 days. And for drying, of course, we're looking at 100 to 120 days. Since these are in the high tunnel, that's not of a huge concern for me, which gives me a good window of time to decide how exactly I want to use these. Our first frosts are not usually hard frosts, so at 120 days, I should still be okay. Okay, so it took it took one pack and about a quarter to finish this entire row, one entire row of the cowpeas. And I know I said I was going to stop at the third spot for the cucumbers, but I ended up having just a few seeds left, and so I just went ahead and did all the way to the fourth section. And so we only have one section back there in the back. I'll flip you around in a second, but it's just that little section here between these two that is not planted with cucumbers, but the entirety of this trellis is planted with the Razorback cowpea. I'm gonna water, but before I do, I'm gonna go ahead and sprinkle that. Let me bring it down a little bit. Let me flip it. Go ahead and sprinkle the blood meal on the corn back there. Just looking a little puny because of not having water for 3 days. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna water very deeply everything in here that's supposed to be growing, the vegetables, not the weeds, and then we're gonna call it. We are halfway through with our fall renovation for Hoopty. Yay. We are literally standing in the halfway point right now, and this walkway is clear. So in the next video, we'll do the remaining 6 rows, and in those rows are going to be planted and prepared for leafy greens. And we may do, I'm still trying to decide if I'm going to do those Kentucky Wonder pole beans on that trellis back there where we pull the tomatoes, or if I'm going to do my standard snow pea thing. We'll see. But stay tuned and come back for that part 2, and hopefully we'll have this done by the time the weekend is over. But it depends on the weather, it depends on my body, it depends on a lot of things. So this is how we work hard to grow big from home. So whatever you need to do to grow big from home, make sure you do it so you can, come on, say it with me, grow big from home. Catch you in the next video.
What?